Hey everyone, Joe here from Actions. Welcome to Let Joe Talk, where each and every week, for a lot of episodes, I usually talk about stuff that I want to talk about. That's basically the whole point of Let Joe Talk, is just me rambling about something, me giving my opinion about something in the world, or me guessing something. Basically, that's the whole point of the show. This week is our season finale. It is the last episode I'm producing for quite a while. And I was debating for so many weeks what should be the final episode for this season, for this wave of episodes I've been filming since last year. And given what everything going on in the world right now, if you don't understand my logo is basically I can talk about the world. Like it's the logo of the show in a globe, and basically I can talk about anything in the world, and that's fitting because this week. Because I'm pretty sure I'm going to change the logo again for the next time we come back eventually in the near future. And that's another thing that's ironic, is the near future of it. I want to talk about a new world. And this isn't meant to be some sort of biblical, this isn't meant to be some sort of, weird hippie shit or anything. It's basically, with everything that's been, 2020 has not been a very kind year to many, 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 many people. Where between COVID-19, between nearly getting to World War III, between Black Lives Matter, and between any ounce of anything that can go wrong this year, it has basically gone wrong. We're already halfway done with the year. I'm recording this in June of 2020, so hopefully whenever this is being watched at the end of 2020, hopefully nothing more bad stuff has happened, because I don't think our world can even take it anymore. But some good has come out of it, some bad things have come out of it. We lost, sadly, a lot of people because of many, many things that have happened and many, many things that have just come to light lately. It just seems crazy how this year, the world has just been pretty much thrown to crap. Let's just say it very loosely. And it's not just where I live here in New York and the United States of America, not just also that in the whole world. No matter, my father said this best. No matter where you go, you're gonna have problems this year. You can if you're from the U.S., so you're moving to the U.K., or you're from Japan, moving to Australia. If you're from South America, moving to Canada. No matter where you're gonna go, you're gonna find some sort of issue. No matter what, this year alone, everything has just been affected. Everything, the economy, our health, our lives, everyone has been affected, and I don't think I have met one single human being, whether that is a very close friend of mine to just a person on the streets, that has not been affected by anything that has happened this year alone. And when this all started, after the whole World War III scare, after everything that's happened, my father said when the coronavirus became more of a bigger threat and more of a bigger problem for the everyday citizen, everyday human being to go through. He said it the way as, this is God's way of weeding out all the, and I'm quoting my dad here. Don't quote. This is not a me quote. This is my dad. A dad quote. Please don't hit on my dad. This is just stuff he just said. He said it as, the piece of crap people in the world are going to die, and hopefully the smarter, younger generation, the people who are thinking about for bigger change, are going to be the ones who are going to be still alive and are going to be able to lead humanity to a new, hopefully a new era. Now, my dad is he's old. He's in his 60s, so I'm pretty sure some of that could be attributed to old age, or maybe his wise knowledge, whatever you want to call it. Hearing that, I'm like, that's a little bit too extreme, Dad. I mean, maybe you should tone it down a little bit. It's not entirely, I don't think it's entirely... that's how things are gonna go, but he could be right. We just don't know. Whether you believe in God or not, or whatever religion you believe in, which I don't disrespect. Whatever religion you believe in, I respect it, and that's your religion, and I'm not gonna disrespect it or anything. I'm just saying I believe in God. I'm a Christian, so I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe in God. Just getting that fact out of the way. That's what he told me, and after the many months have passed since that statement, and yes, it has gone into a bigger issue. It has gone the wrong people are dying, and some people are just... It's just so weird how everything's being affected. It really is. And then when we thought, okay, we're in the clear for now, we're just going to get through this until the vaccine shows up for COVID, then sadly the George Floyd murder happened, and the whole Black Lives Matter movement started up, and well, sadly, again, as I said before, George Floyd and a lot of other people attributed to that sadly passed away because of that. Thankfully, more attention about this matter has brought up. There was a brief scare with all the violent protesting, when all the looting and happened at the start of it, but thankfully right now it has transitioned to a more peaceful protest, and hopefully that's where we're at right now in the world in terms of like when I'm recording this, timestamping this on June 19th, 2020. It is hopefully nothing more worse happens, but I think in my mindset being so isolated, because for me personally, and this is just one man out of 7.5 billion people on the planet, this is just one little stamp of the world. For me, my life was, and I'm being honest here, sorry if my reaction, like my facial reaction, doesn't match my emotions. I'm a weird person like that sometimes. For me, going into this year was very much, okay, I'm going to graduate, I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do in my life with my degree, I'm going to figure out how I'm going to get a job, how I'm going to pay back my student loans, etc., etc., etc. And then everything hit the fan in March, and it was like, okay, my priority went from trying to find a career, trying to figure out what I want to do with YouTube, trying to figure out what I want to do with my friends and my personal life. That all basically when just basic survival mode. Like, I'm going to stay at my current job, I'm going to make as much money as I can, I'm going to hold out until I basically told my folks that I am not even going to consider even going forward in my career until after COVID is over, because if you don't know, I'm in a criminal justice major, so in the professions, my potential avenues to get a job in that industry, in that environment, has been postponed because the places I've been looking into have suspended hiring. So there's basically nothing I could do on that matter. I just literally have to wait and hold out. And thankfully, I am blessed to have had a job as an essential worker. I work at a supermarket. I can't reveal where exactly I work in because of contracts, but I do work in a supermarket. So for me, basically, nothing changed as at a fundamental level. Like, I worked 5 days a week and I went to school two days a week. So for me, all I did was I lost those 2 days of school, transitioned to online learning, and then I went just straight on to my job. Making more money, trying to help my family whenever I can, and just trying to survive. And seeing the panic shopping in March, and then just seeing the shortages, and the slow recovery to getting everything back to somewhat of stability in my work environment. And now where we're at, with at least in my city, we become reopening, and we are currently about to start getting barber shops back, which hopefully by the time this airs, my hair will be back to perfection. But anyway, slight humorous gag over. Basically, right now where I'm at is like, it's just that even the thing that have always burdened me about the world, about, just people that live around me, is that when everyone just, remember, for a good couple of months, like, Corona was like the coronavirus was basically the big thing on people's mind, like, oh, how much longer do we have to wait for a vaccine, or when are we going to be able to reopen and everything. And the thing that I'm personally scared about is that, when end of April hit, May was beginning, and it's weird to say that because it was just May for me last month. Now it's fucking June. June is about to be over, so that's fucking crazy. At least for me, because time moves very quickly for me. I don't know why. Like some days just feel slow as hell, but then when you're really paying attention to when it is in the year, it's like, oh damn, it's already this month. Like, wasn't it last month? Like yesterday? It's confusing. It's weird for me. But when I started seeing people that I used to know at a very basic level start going out again and started hanging out with friends again, I'm like, we're not out of the woods yet. We're not out of the woods yet. For me personally, I haven't even hanged out with a single friend. Like, hang down in terms of like a simple one-on-one hangout. I haven't done any of that since March. Literally, at the turning point of the pandemic, I literally have not seen anyone. I saw no one. I haven't hanged out with a friend. I haven't, went out drinking. I haven't done, any restaurant here, because basically everything's closed. Now, of course, people could just come to the houses, but I have a family to take care of. I have my folks, my sister, and a couple of other people. And my cat. I have to focus on them. I have to worry about their health being, and instead of me just saying fucking in and having any person that's willing to come over just to hang out, just so I don't get to be bored, is unfair to them. So that's how my positioning is, that I had to sacrifice even just the safest house hangout because I do care about my family. I don't want to get them infected with COVID, even though I'm pretty sure I'm trusting the person that's coming over. You just don't know. I rather not take that risk at all. So when it came to that, like literally, thankfully, had it not been for my job, I'm pretty sure I would have gone crazy. And don't worry, like the whole point, I will get back to the topic. I'm just bringing some backstory a little bit. And I'll get back to the backstory. Had I not had my job, I'm pretty sure I would have gone crazy. Because like if I had just seen my folks and my sister and those people for like months on end without any other human interaction, I would have gone crazy. I would have gone crazy because another thing I'm blessed is that a lot of other people don't have hobbies to do, or they're just bored during this environment. Like for me, I am blessed to be, and I'm saying that very loosely. I'm very happy to have been involved in so many hobbies. I play video games. I watch a lot of TV shows. I do watch movies at occasion, and doing, of course, this YouTube. I'm doing YouTube videos. I'm thankful that I had outlets to be able to like express not being bored. And the thing that was kind of hurting for me, my only one criticism was that I've seen a lot of people like are able to catch up on their backlog, are able to catch up on the show. They're able to do this, and that, while they, of course, obviously getting a financial income is obviously more important than, playing a video game or watching a TV show. I understand that. I have barely been able to progress in anything I play. Like, I have not earned a platinum in a game. I have not been able to beat a game. Well, I beat one game. I'm still 100%ing it, but you know what I mean. But I did manage to do all this, like, video work on YouTube, so I'm grateful for that. But beyond that, like, it kind of annoyed me that this was supposed to be my last semester, my big hoorah. I was going to the gym. I was, working on my body more, and I've been still working on my body at home. It's just not the same as going to a gym environment. And we are beginning, for me personally in my city, we are beginning the long road to recovery. Like, just because things are reopening doesn't mean like, oh, Corona's over. It's not over, like, by a long shot. We just need to, like, be able to flatten the curve and being able to, like, assist in, like, trying to at least minimize any potential future incidences. And hopefully we won't have a second major wave, or hopefully... I just... Like, my father again said this. Think of 2020 as a lost year. 2020 is over. Like, you're just surviving this year, but there's nothing eventful happening. And... for me, thinking about that, it does burden me because, like, I had plans to do this world tour. I wanted to go traveling a lot this year with my income before I had to start paying off loans. Like, I was basically was planning to have like a whole year of like being able to go around the world, like going to see different places, and that immediately just ended like literally like about a month in. So that was unfortunate, at least for me. But I did understand like the grander scheme of things, like it just wasn't meant to be. So. To get back to my original point on this episode is that, for me personally, I feel like when this is all over, I've always said this before on my Instagram post, I said this in other episodes of the show, I said this in general, like, there's going to be a new normal. There isn't going to be we're going back to the old world. That's beyond gone. It's over. That world is gone. Like, anything pre-2020, anything pre-March of 2020, forget about it. I just don't see us going back to that way. And that's crazy because, like, literally, I was living in that world 6 months ago where you could go anywhere you want to. You could go see a movie. You could go eat dinner with friends. You can go and just hang out somewhere without a mask, without the fear of, like, getting sick besides the flu, besides, allergies and the flu and those sorts of stuff. Those are basically your worst case scenarios. And now having that all been taken away and having this requirement of wearing a mask every time you leave your house, otherwise you risk not much of you getting infected, but you infecting others. And it's just weird that, like, that was 6 months ago, and now here we are 6 months later, and being restricted on that front. And do I miss that world? I kind of do sometimes because, again, I do miss my friends. I remember the last things I did before the pandemic hit was I went to this very late Christmas friends dinner in January. Amazing time. I had this like mini hangout just before it was getting serious. Like, okay, no social gatherings, no anything. Literally at the beginning of like a few days before like the pandemic warning was hit. And then that's all I remember. That was the last times I had a normality in my life. After that, it just was, you got to be lucky to get any food at a very decent price. Otherwise, you're going to pay a lot more. Then it was like, oh, you're not going to be able to hang out at all. You can't go to a park. You can't go, like, do social gallery. Like, obviously, I understand that this is for the greater good. It's just, like, weird. Like, you're so used to having those privileges, and then them being restricted from you, not because you did something bad or anything, but in the sense of, like, we're just doing this to be able to protect other people. And that I totally understand, that I totally get. But it's still that factor of it's still gone. You don't have it anymore. And that's something that, it took me a while to, like, understand. And then even when I did fully understand, like, okay, this is the way we have to live it, seeing other people, like, disregard that and being able to, like, I remember the Florida spring break incident where this was, I think, a few weeks into the lockdown, and they didn't give a fuck. They said, literally, I think one of the guys that I saw in an interview said, like, hey, we're gonna die at some point. I'm not gonna let a stupid virus, like, ruin my spring break. I'm like, come on, man, come on. Like, if you want to do that, do it by yourself, but don't risk other people. Just don't. There are people out there who have lost their family members, who lost their loved ones, who lost people so close to them that they can never get back. And when people say shit like that, it really fucking annoyed me. Like, another thing my dad said, like, if you want to kill yourself, go kill yourself. But don't bring anyone else with you. Just don't. And again, if you're painting my dad like, wow, your dad's a pretty brutal motherfucker, I'm sorry, but this is the way he is. Like, he has no, like, limits on him. He's just always, like, brutally honest with everyone, and that's one of the many things I love about him. Thankfully, I'm not like that, or at least not yet. And maybe if I'm still doing Let Joe Talk in, like, 20, 30 years, maybe that'll be me, but anyway. Where was my point? Oh, yeah. So my point of the matter was that it's those types of people that really annoy me. And then, especially when the Black Lives Matter protest, I said this before on the Black Lives Matter episode that I did a couple weeks ago. While I did not personally participate in any of the peaceful protesting that were organized near my area, not because I didn't want to go, it was because literally they were scheduled while I was at work. And my responsibilities at work, sadly, I had to go to them, so I could not take off for work. Which I know that's a really dumb excuse, but I still need my job. I still need income. I'm sorry to say that. But I have seen some people I've known, some friends, that did participate. And I was so happy that they were able to, like, spread the word peacefully, are able to bring out the message, and that really... that made me smile when I was going for my Instagram stories that day and, scrolling through Twitter. Like, it felt so good to, like, there are great people out there. There are nice people out there that are fighting the good fight. And then seeing videos in my area, people that are literally taking down a sign, that are literally trying to break up the peaceful protests, and that are taking advantage of it, it really aggravated me. It really did. And it's like, why are these people even existing? Like, we have so many other problems in the world. Like, don't create another problem. Either help solve the problem, or just don't do anything at all. That's simple. Those are the only two avenues you should be doing. Like, either help solve the problem, or stay out of the way of the people who are going to solve the problem. That's it. Simple. That's the way I believe. And when I mean solving the problem, like, if you're actually solving the problem, if you're supporting getting a solution to the problem, or even just, like, participating in something, that's helping. That's helping. Just taking advantage of the situation, just, doing what you want to do, making things worse, doing the wrong thing, that just basically said, no, just stay home and just don't get involved. That's basically my stance on it. And the thing that I have to admit is that what does a new world look like? Well, where do we see, like, and this is not, I'm not talking about just America. I'm talking about the whole world. Like, I think there just has to be an aspect of world peace, because, like, we have this one Earth. This is our only planet. Like, we do not have planetary travel yet. We're not able to go out into another Earth in the distant galaxy. We're not able to do that yet. We can barely get someone to the moon. How the fuck are we haven't even reached Mars yet, for Pete's sake. And so you're talking about, Earth it gets fucked over, we could just move to another planet. No, it's not as simple as that. We're years away from that. We have this one planet. We are all on this one planet. Regardless of who you are, regardless of what you believe in, regardless of what you stand for, it doesn't matter, because we all still live on this one planet. And the one thing that I think everyone should agree with is at least having some sort of aspect of peace. Peace by peace to all. Again, not trying to be a hippie or anything. I'm just saying, like, I'll never understand why people have to make argument. I never understand why people want to make fight. I'm not saying that in the way of, like, fighting for something. I'm saying for fighting in general. Like, fighting over some stupid thing. Or doing something dumb. Or, what was my third example? I had a third example and I really forgot about it. I forgot. But, that's what I'm trying to make. Like, I just respect everyone. I said this before a few weeks ago. I'll say it again. Like, I grew up in the manner of, like, treat everyone with respect. Everyone. Do not disrespect. Do not discriminate. Do not insult anyone. Just don't. Treat everyone fresh. No prior stereotypes. No racial remarks. Nothing. Just, that's the person that I'm seeing for the first time. Come to me. We'll talk. We'll interact in a very nice, civil manner. Very neutral. And then we go from there. And keep the one thing, even if it's a neutral relationship, whether that is going to be a very simple 10-second interaction that you'll never see that person again, or even to maybe even the love of your life to one of your closest best friends in the near future. Whatever that interaction can be, keep it open. Keep that very neutral. Treat them with courtesy. Treat them with respect. Treat them as another human being. That's the way I live my life. I'm not trying to connect this with a Black Lives Matter, but that's just my way of thinking. Like, no matter who I meet, no matter who I see for the very first time, I do not let any discrimination, I do not let any, like, racial stereotype affect whatever this is going to be, whatever interactions is going to be. I never let that affect it. I just like, okay, you speak, I'll react in a very civil, respectful manner, and then we'll go from our day from there. But I don't understand why everyone else can't do it. I just don't legitimately understand. Like, it is not that hard to be nice to someone. It's not that hard to just, even if the person's going to be disrespectful for you. Because at the end of the day, sadly, still in this world, there will be people like that. I still will, like, say, okay, I have no real interest in talking to you further. I'm going to depart. I hope you have a good life. Simple. Or something like that. That's the way I like to live it. And that's the way. Peaceful. Peaceful, nice, goodbye, in that matter. But you never really know where things will go, and at least that's what I like to believe in. Like, I would love to live in a small town type setting where everyone's just friendly with each other, everyone's nice to each other. If they need help, you go help them. If you need help, they'll help you. Simple as that. I think that's a matter that I think everyone can live with, because, like, at the end of the day, being nice is free. It doesn't cost anything to be nice. That's the thing. And I feel like if everyone is like that, if we treat each other with a civil respect, with respect for all, if we just have that mindset of, like, let's try not create an issue, let's just, create peace, I think we would avoid so many more problems. I think that would honestly be the best solution, because that's all I care about. That's all I want in the world. I am a man of peace. I try not to get into argument. I try not to get into fight. I try my best not to. So I will be honest. Sometimes I have to, because, the other person pushes me, or, like, I'm just thrown in a situation where it's like, okay, there is no real, like, I've tried every peaceful avenue possible. I'll have to get a little aggressive. But I never, like, go full bash all out. I'm yelling and everything. Like, I'll scale up. But I never, like, I scale. I never, because all you're going to do is make it worse. And sorry, I was thinking in my head, but sorry, I lost my train of thought there. But to get back to my point of things, and it's not just the human interaction. It's just the way the environment is. Like, I'm not trying to say, like, here's the thing, global warming is the thing. Let's just end it here. Like, I'm sorry, I just got to get that out. Global warming is the thing. Like, when the pandemic started, before the pandemic started, the ozone layer was literally at a very critical point where it was basically gone in some areas. Fast forward to when the lockdown occurred, it was starting to heal up again. And so, and when people say that, oh, that's not a thing, how about you connect the dots? It's another thing, like, the polar ice caps in the Antarctica area, like, those are melting. That is a fact that you can't deny. Like, okay, I want to hear someone's explanation. Like, why is that melting? Why? For me, it's fairly simple. Fairly simple. We're, as human beings, we pollute the air, we weaken the ozone layer, more sunlight goes through, it gets more hotter, all sorts. Even right now, even this current environment, even though like things are starting to slowly reopen back up again, this is the natural weather. This is natural weather 101. This isn't like, polluted air, altered weathering system. No, this is like where things are normally supposed to be. So there were days last year where it's like, oh god, it is so freaking hot because the sun's coming down more because there's barely any protection. And then this year I literally just walked to Target to pick up Last of Us Part 2, which sadly then again, usually like, and this could also be attributed to my weight back in the day, but like I was a sweaty pig by the time I got to the area. I didn't start sweating, and this was like a normal hot day, like an 80, 82-ish. I didn't start sweating until literally five blocks away from coming back home. So things are different now. Like the heat, like you can clearly see the results of it. You can clearly see this is all connected. But I just don't understand why, people are just, certain country, certain area, they're just not agreeing with it. It's like, oh no, we're just going to keep going as usual because we need it. No. And it's the same thing like I was playing Final Fantasy VII Remake recently, where it's not. I know those are two completely different worlds, but it's kind of in the very similar line. Like humans are taking Earth, like they're kind of like what was it like? What was the term? What's the terminology? They're disregarding the conditions of the Earth just because, but they just need to keep going forward in terms of like using all the resources, chopping down all the trees for construction and stuff like that. Using basically all the natural resources just for their financial benefits. So those two things are very similar. But in the grand context of things, like we're not that different from that. Like of course we're not like this steel metropolis, in the middle of nowhere. I'm not saying that at all, but we are very much close to like, yeah, we are using a lot of the natural resources. We are affecting the environment. That you can't deny. The facts are there, and again, like I said before in the start of this, like we only have this one planet. There is no Earth 2. I don't mean like the multiverse, right? I mean like there's no second Earth. We don't have a second Earth to go to. It's like, okay, we failed here. We're going to move somewhere else and start over. We're not even there yet. We're not. Like I think we found places, but we can't get there yet. Basically, that's what we're not even close to even getting to. We're not even close for a human trip to Mars. We're not even anywhere, close to that. So, with that being said, however, that's still the scary part where it's like, I don't think it'll happen in my generation. I do believe we'll start seeing hints of it when I'm closing in on the end of my life, but I don't think I'll see it. Maybe my kids or my kids' kids will start to see it, like seeing the real repercussions of like Earth is going to slowly. And I've seen those videos online where it's like, oh, in a billion trillion years, Earth will be destroyed, like the universe is dead. And that's a scary part. Like that's honestly a scary part. Like, what will happen at the end of this? Like, what will happen? Like, do we just keep rotating in a circle? Do we, eventually get reborn? Like, that's all the stuff I'm really scared about in the future. For me personally, my priorities right now in life is, one, find my true love. Two, get a good paying job, and three, pay off my loans. Those are basically my only three real priorities in my life right now. So but the future stuff is very scary. Like, not just on me, but like, the next generation or the generations after that, like, how are they going to survive this? Like, I'm even playing Last of Us Part 2 right now after I record this, like, seeing the world like that. Like, I don't want that world. I don't want that world. I know that's just a work of fiction, but it could happen. It could happen. And that's the thing that I'm scared of. Not just for me and, not for me and just, like, where I'm living in right now, but just in the future generations. So, we do need to take better care of our planet. Like, we only have the one. I understand, like, we need to survive and everything, but, we can't take better care of our planet. We could, start, like, putting more limitations, like, okay, we can't touch these areas, we have to have some certain regulations. But, it's not about this, the hippie, like, peace to Earth or love to the Earth. It's not that. It's simple as taking care of our planet. We only have the one, and if we lose it, we're dead. There's no running away. There's no like, oh, let's just escape to a bunker or anything. No, the whole planet is fucked. So the moment someone like that's smart enough in office or someone smart enough to be a leader And I know there's other leaders out there that have, are thankfully smart and thankfully doing the right thing. I am very grateful for that, but everyone needs to be like that. I mean, come on. Come on. I mean, we only have the one planet. There is no Earth 2 yet. So, please. Please. And I think that's how I envision a new Earth. Like a new world that we can live in a post-COVID environment where I think people will start respecting more of what they have, or at least being grateful for what they have currently, whether that is your family, your friends, your loved ones, your job, your financial income, a lot of other things that you love. You can't just take for granted for that, because at any point, like we just saw a few months ago, like they could be easily taken away. Not because of being rude or being like a dictator or anything, but like for our safety, that could easily be taken away at any time. I want to see people being more grateful. I want to see more people being more. I'm not just more. Everyone being like, hey, excuse me, peace. That's what I mean. Just, there's no reason to create additional conflict. There's too many other problems in the world right now. There's too many problems going on right now. Having another argument will just be like, come on, you're just stirring the fire even more. And that's what aggravates me. Like that, there's just people that just want to keep pushing for further conflict instead of like, hey, can we solve the conflict so more people, like more innocent people, don't get affected by it? I mean, how many lives do we have to lose before? How many lives have to be affected before that becomes clear? How many more? Like, that's my honest question. Like, how many more have to suffer before we get some real change? Come on. So that's my hopefulness. Like, that, everyone will be able to, live in peace and to be able to be on a planet that, we as human beings will take care of. Because okay, I'm saying this very loosely. We are the most intelligent being right now on this planet. We are pretty much the caretakers of this planet. And I feel like we should be taking more of an effort to be able to, keep our planet, livable and, to be able to, live on it and, have kids or, be able to thrive in our lives and careers. I think everyone's entitled to that, to be able to craft their own lives. And hopefully there is a day where it's like, we don't need to fight. There has to be no need for conflict. And we can move on to other, things that we could be spending our time on. And the one thing I want to see out of a post-COVID environment is basically just respect for all. That if there's one thing I want in this, I just want to see everyone just, respect each other, be nice to each other, no fighting, no racial stereotype, no discrimination. I don't want to see that anymore. Like, we've suffered so much throughout human history. Do we still need to suffer more? I mean, we read this in textbooks in school, and we're still seeing a lot of aspects of that history in today. And that's really bugging me, that we're still having those issues. Even after everything we learned, after everything we've seen, that's still an issue. I just want everyone to be nice to everyone. No conflicts. Just like, everyone could be your friend. Not everyone has to be your friend, but everyone could be your friend. And that should be the thing that, everyone should, like, sort of like, everyone can be a friend. Doesn't mean they will be your friend, but as long as you treat them like a friend, I feel like that's just going to, like, assist things and make things more comfortable and better in the long run. And, and I know there's much more I can say. There's much more that could be talked about. Like, believe me, I just barely scratched the surface. But I feel like the core thing that could, like, start change is in the people. It's not just, like, the higher-ups or the leaders. I'm not saying that. I'm not just saying just them. I think everyone can be better. Everyone can do better. No one's perfect. That's the thing. There is no perfect human being. When people say, when they're looking for, like, the special loved one that's going to fill the night, I want the perfect girl, or for girl, I want the perfect guy. There is no perfection. There's no perfect anyone. Human beings cannot be perfect. There's always a flaw. There's always something, and someone's going to make a mistake. There is no such thing as perfection in a human being. But that's the beautiness of a human being, is that's our charm. That's, we're able to still be able to grow and, improve on ourselves. And I don't think even by the time your life ends, I don't think you've even improved everything, but I think you've gotten to that point where it's like, yeah, I'm happy with myself. I think I've done enough where it's like, I can be satisfied with my progress at the end of the day before I take that last day. And I think that's just what I just want to see. Like, if anything, at the end of the day, when COVID-19 is over, when the pandemic status is lifted, I want to see a society that everyone treats each other with respect, with courtesy, with equal respect for all. That's what I want to see. I want to see everyone happy. I want to see... I'm not saying, like, I'm going to go down the city block and just smile at everyone and say, hey, how you doing? I understand not everyone's like that. I respect that at all. But if you're just at least open to saying the hi and being able to be respectful and courteous back if the moment arises, I think that's all you need. And that's just the beginning of where a lot of other problems would just be solved. That's my personal opinion. That really is. And I know, again, there's many more things that I could talk about, many more things I could just bring up in examples. But that's where the change starts in each and every one of us. Regardless if you're already a good human being or not, we can all be better. That's basically the point I'm trying to make here. And hopefully we will live in... hopefully for me, I'll live in that society someday. And gratefully so, hopefully my kids. Whatever that is. And hopefully we will get there. I don't think it's anytime soon. But I do believe we're closing in on that point. And maybe it's not the generation that are leading us now, but maybe my generation or a little bit older than me or a little bit younger than me. Maybe they'll be the ones to be able to like really be able to get that change going. But we'll see what happens. We'll see. But I'm very hopeful because that's the one thing that I said this before when the pandemic started. Like hope. Hope is what's going to lift us out of this darkness. Hope is what's going to guide us through into hopefully the next chapter of human history, which will hopefully be one of prosperity, of peace, of laughter, smiles, love, all that. So that's what I want to see in this, whatever the new world will be, whatever the new normal will be. That's what I want to see. And I think with that being said, I think that's a great way to end this off. So again, if you want to agree or disagree with me, comment below. Be courteous, be constructive. Don't be a rude and soulful person. But I feel like that's all I gotta say on the matter, and hopefully we will get to that moment someday. What I just said, and I hope everyone's doing well. Even right now, I know everything is all over the place. But if you're doing well, if you're doing fine, if you're doing good, that's all that matters. And this has been Joe from Action X for Let Joe Talk. So again, thank you so much for watching. Whether this was your first one or maybe your 26th one, I don't know. Thank you for watching. Thank you for hearing my thoughts out, and not just on this matter, but in every single thing I talked about this season on the show so far. There will be many more things to talk about of serious nature and comedic nature. You know, I'm well known for my very horrible humor, but you know what I mean. But again, thank you so much for hearing me out. Thank you so much for taking the time to hopefully watch this whole thing. I have no idea how long this is. Like, I haven't checked I have no real way of seeing how long this is going for. Like, my computer's all the way behind the camera, so I can't see it. But yeah. Again, thank you so much for watching. Whether that is this video, this episode of the show, or just the whole show period. Thank you so much for watching. So anyway, this has been Joe from Action X. Thank you so much for watching this season of Let Joe Talk, or watching this episode. Speakingly, if you are interested in seeing more Let Joe Talk, we have a lot of episodes in the backlog. I think we passed episode 50. Did we? I know we did 26. Could be wrong. Maybe I didn't hit episode 50. Oh well. But we've done a lot of Let Joe Talks. If you want to go check them out, I talked about a lot of other serious stuff, a lot of other comedic stuff. Go check them out. I think I talked about at least a little bit of everything by this point, except for sports. I'll never talk about sports. But anyway, again, this has been Let Joe Talk from Action X. This has been a fun ride to do in terms of just overall speaking, talking about stuff throughout the past many weeks I've been doing this. And hopefully I'll be able to do more at some point in the near future, not anytime soon. So if you have been a loyal fan, been watching every single week, thank you so much. I'll see you guys hopefully in the long run. Hopefully the world I hopefully said, or at least the change I would like to see, will hopefully come to pass. Hopefully. That's all we can hope for. But I will return to talk about probably not in this setup, probably something new down the line. But this has been the end for now. So thank you guys again. Thank you. Subscribe to Action X if you haven't already. Ring the bell for notification for any of our other videos. Like, favorite, share if you want to, but it really does help us out. Follow us on social media. And yeah, this has been it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great night. Be good to each other. Be safe out there. And see you guys at some point in the near future. Peace out.